Pulse School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by BASF.
Brittany Warner here with RealAgriculture.com. Welcome back to another episode of our Pulse School. I have Mike Palmier here with me once again from MaxAg Consulting, located in West Central Saskatchewan here. Now, obviously by the background, we are not out in the field. We are battling a little bit of wind, but we're going to head out there, show you what Mike is talking about a little bit later. But we just wanted to jump into it. And Mike, right off the bat, what growth stage should people begin scouting for nodules?
I'd say typically nodules start forming about 2 weeks after emergence, maybe around that 5-node stage. But I mean, there could be potential for delay in nodule formation until 3 or 4 weeks after. And some of that's going to be dependent on environmental conditions, whether it's cold or wet, or perhaps you have some residual nitrogen carryover from the previous crop that might potentially delay the onset of nodulation.
Okay, and I mean, overall, why does nodulation matter? Why is it important?
Well, nodulation is important because with having nodulation, we don't have to fertilize our crops with nitrogen fertilizers, and so we're able to provide nitrogen for the plant through the symbiotic relationship with the nodules and the rhizobia that are forming them. And so for cost mitigation purposes, obviously that's a great thing. Environmental purposes, that's a great thing. And so without those nodules and without healthy nodules, we're not going to have proper nitrogen for the plant to be able to access through its life cycle.
All right, so we know when to begin scouting. We know why we want to even be doing this. When we get there and are scouting for it, how do we know that there are enough, and how do we know that they're healthy?
Well, so the first thing that I would look at is just to look at the breadth of nodulation on that plant. Either we just see it on the crown root, or if we see it on some of the secondary roots. And so the factors that will influence that would be history of pulses on that land. If you've had a large history of pulses there, you have native rhizobia build up in that soil, you should have more nodulation through some of the secondary roots. Also, if you haven't had a heavy rotation of pulses on that plant and you're using a peat or a liquid inoculant, which is treating that seed, you'll see more nodulation along the crown roots and less throughout. And so that's some of the advantage that we see as well with a granular inoculant versus some of the seed applied.
Now, obviously, when we go out there, we want to see, prime nitrogen content. What if we do have poor nodulation? At that point, are we adding nitrogen, or what's protocol?
Yeah, so I mean, if you have poor nodulation, how you'd find that out, and we'll show you in the field, is cut open that nodule. You want to see that red or pink on there that shows that it's actively forming nodules. I guess what we would look to do at that point in time, if we felt like there was very poor nodulation and the plant is showing some stress, is try to immediately apply a nitrogen source onto that crop. Ideally, you would want to put about 60 to 80 pounds to try to make sure that you can get it through flowering. And however you can get it down the quickest and most economical possible is good with me.
Great. Thanks so much, Mike.